Alright guys, we're back with another YouTube video. Today we are going to be talking about weight training and optimal lifting and why I don't really agree with the so-called optimal lifting space and how I believe it's a bunch of bullshit, because it is. So from what I've seen, and been working out for the last 2 years now, and I've been to a fair few gyms, and you see the odd person that does so-called optimal lifting, which is low intensity, and they're doing it all with a 5-10 second movement. They're like this, going really slowly, no intensity, really lightweight, and oh yeah, I did my 10 reps, and I'm doing my 10 reps for my 3 sets, so I do 12 sets for this muscle group, and I'm doing these exercises so that I don't overwork these small muscles. And it's like, what are you on about? You're just chatting out of your ass at this point. So optimal lifting is just bullshit, because it's just people believing that you have to train a certain way to achieve results, and you have to train as optimally and make sure you're doing every single thing correctly, and if someone's doing it not that way, then they're completely wrong. And you've got to be doing everything a certain way to hit that muscle and make sure it's being fully contracted and you're getting the right squeeze at the bottom, and then when you're controlling the weight up, you've got to make sure you're doing it all at a smooth speed. And no, there's no differentiation in the speed of the movement. It's all the same. Every rep is the same. You're always getting the same range of motion, and you're not training to failure because you don't want to overtire your muscles and your central nervous system, and you're not training too hard because you don't want to fatigue yourself before the rest of the session, so you're working all the muscles evenly. Like, it's just a bunch of bullshit. I've been doing this for the last 3 months now, where I've been doing 3 weeks even, where it's just intensity based. I've been doing intensity based for the last 3 months, but now I've taken it to the next level in these last 3 weeks, which has been one working set for every single movement. Okay, one working set, which is a top set of the heaviest I can go for 4 to 8 reps, and that's the heaviest I can do. And I'll do as hard as I can. I'll do half reps as well, I might use, so say with bicep curls, I might, for the last few reps, get it up as high as I can, and then just do an eccentric movement as hard as I can, and really focus on the squeeze of the muscle and try and feel it pulling my elbow down, that kind of thing. I train with intensity now. I do one set, that's all I need to fully tire out my muscles and fully fatigue myself. I was doing shoulder press today in the gym with the machine. Full stack, 15 reps, but a few weeks ago I was doing half a stack for like 8 reps, but I was just doing a low intensity, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm training all right, I'm training hard, but I wasn't, because I was practically just being a bit of a bitch. So what you got to do, up the weight, go as heavy as you can for 6 to 8 reps, and do I've lost my train of thought now. Go as heavy as you can for the 6 to 8 reps, and train as intensely as you can, and keep doing it every session. Just keep upping the weight as much as you can, and try and keep your form as immaculate as you can. So yeah, if you've got a really slow rep, you're grinding, great, that's good, that's intensity. As long as you keep that form, as long as you're not like this on your shoulder press, as long as your bench press isn't like this and you're all over the place, as long as your squats aren't, you're down on the floor and you're bending your back, and your deadlifts are, as long as your form's okay, but you're just training with intensity, that is the main thing. So just train with the intensity, track your workouts, apply progressive overload, so every week add on 5 pounds or so, depending on how you're doing, and just train to absolute failure. And so now with this one set thing that I'm doing, one set of everything, I realised to myself, okay, so I'm only giving myself one set, so I've got to go all out to make the progress, to make the gains, because otherwise I'm not going to stimulate the muscles enough. So you've got to train all out in every set. So shoulder press, like 45s, 50s, and just I was doing 4 or 5 reps, and then that 6th rep, I'm going, and it feels like it's stopped, but it's still moving just ever so slightly, and you just keep it going. You try and hold it for as long as you can, and then as soon as you get to the top and you're on that last rep, don't just let it down. Don't just drop the bicep curls. Don't just drop the dumbbells. Don't just throw them down to the sides. hold on at the top and then just control it as much as you can. Make that last eccentric part of the movement last as long as you can. So this method of training works for me, and I believe it's probably the best way to do your training, but obviously it might not work for you, and you've got to understand that everyone's different, everyone's body responds differently. So find what works for you, mix up your training, keep experimenting with new methods of training, and I'd say prioritize your intensity over your volume, and try and figure out what is your limit of intensity, and try and reach that absolute failure point with everything you're doing, because that's going to provide the most growth. There was a study I read up on, and it was you could do a set for 20 reps, and if the 20th rep is the failure, is the last rep, and it's like full muscular failure, then it's only 15 to 20. Those are those last 5 reps are the only reps that are actually going to be providing you with growth and with proper stimulation for improvement. So what you want to be doing is, this is how I think of it at least, try and do as little reps as possible and make them as difficult as possible, so that the only reps you're doing are the ones that are providing growth. I'm not doing the 5 that are really easy for me. I'm doing 0 to 8 reps, say, and then I'm making sure that 5 out of those 8 I'm really struggling with, because it's so heavy, because I'm trying to stay strict form. That is what's going to be providing me with growth. So get your diet in order, and then get your recovery in order, and then look into your training and think, am I training hard enough? Am I training with the right intensity? Am I training with the right volume? Am I actually pushing myself? Have I got the right form? Sort out every little aspect and prioritize the things that you may not be doing well in. So with your nutrition, first of all, focus on you making sure you're getting enough calories, you're getting enough protein. There you go, sorted. Sleep, recovery. Make sure you're getting enough sleep, enough time in bed. You're not saying, okay, I get in bed and I'm in bed and I'm out of bed for 8 hours. Make sure you're asleep for 8 hours. Get something that's going to track your sleep. So you might have to be in bed for 10 hours for that to add up. That's what I do. So make sure your diet's lined up, make sure your sleep's lined up, and then look at your training. Is your form immaculate? Is it what works best for you for that movement? Are you making sure that you're feeling the muscle the best you can? And then start to up the weight, up the intensity to the lower rep ranges with the higher intensity. So you're fully pushing yourself with every rep you're doing, and you're training to that intensity where it is to absolute failure, so that when it comes to growth, the only thing that you're training for is growth and is improvement. And this is just so important. I can't stress it enough. The only way you're going to improve is by doing something differently, by increasing it every session, be it another rep, be it another few kilos or pounds, whatever, on the bar, whatever you're doing. The only way you're going to get better results is by improving it one way or another. Maybe you do another rep, maybe you add more weight, but just keep tracking your workouts and adding more. Okay. It's a short video, again, I know, so hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you can take something away with it from this video that's going to help you progress in your training. So be it you're not training hard enough and you need to just stop with all the optimal lifting bullshit of my RPE, all my sets, I'm not doing enough sets for muscle growth. Ignore that shit. Get into the gym, train as hard as you can until you realise that, okay, I cannot do maybe you're doing 3 sets, and the first set you're going, I cannot do another rep, and then you do a partial, you do another partial, you keep doing partials until you cannot do a partial. And then you do the same thing with every other exercise, and then try and minimize the amount of sets it takes and just up the weight. So it only takes 1 set for you to do 8 reps plus a few partials, and you're like, I can't do that muscle's destroyed now. I can't do anything else with it because I've just fatigued it so much. And that's what I feel now. I was doing barbell bicep curls today, and I did 5 reps with a set barbell weight plus a 10 kilo plate on each side, and like I was doing 4 or 5 partials afterwards as well, just trying to get it up, and then the eccentric, and my biceps now, they're still sore from one set, and my biceps are still sore, and it's like 3 hours later. Just up your fucking intensity, work harder, do do it harder, work harder, increase the intensity, increase the weight, push yourself more, and stop focusing on, oh, the squeeze, gotta make sure I get the right squeeze, or the squeeze, the contraction. Push yourself more. Squeeze ain't fuck all. Make sure you're pushing yourself, so you've got a heavy weight to squeeze with, so it's pushing the muscle to contract, even when you're fully locked out. You're like, shit, it's too much weight, I've got to really focus on holding it there. You can't just rest at the top. Just keep going, keep pushing yourself, more intensity. I just want to say, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.